Hi everybody, good morning. How are you today? So today we're going to be talking about challenging the food police, okay? So I'm Kelsie Michaud. I'm a certified health and life coach, and I help women to just take control of emotional eating so that they can quit dieting and feel confident as they step into their own power. So last week I talked about making peace with food with intuitive eating and how important that is, and also I give you some strategies to help you begin that process. So before I go on, if you're coming on, give me a hello, give me a wave, something so that I know that you're here. And if you are happening to catch the replay, give me #replay so I know you're here as well and I can say hello to you. And if you have any questions at all as I go along or even afterwards, let me know. And hi, Suzanne, how are you today? So I'm thinking about the underlying process of just all of these rules, these food rules that we hold on to, and it is normal to a point. Hi, Chris, how are you? So it can be normal because the first three principles that your mindset, it's not going to change overnight. The first three principles that I went over, you have to know that this takes time and it takes practice, just like with anything new that you're learning. It takes time and practice. So your mindset, it's not going to change overnight, but I'm willing to bet that you're most likely, working against years of just these ingrained restrictive eating rules, okay? However, though, today's topic is all about challenging that inner voice that you have that's just been defining foods as either good or bad for you, okay? So I often get a sense that people think that health coaches are kind of like food police, and yeah, we do work with diet, on a holistic approach, but, have you ever categorized a food as good or bad on your own? Maybe you've labeled your favorite chocolate dessert as sinful, or maybe you told yourself that you can't eat after a certain hour of the day, something like that. This is all of that internal dialogue that's in your head that's acting as the food police, and that ends up leaving you feel really guilty for even taking one bite of something that you really is a favorite food to you. I know I've chastised myself in the past for sure for taking just one little bite, and then I feel like my whole day is blown. So in order to make peace with food, you gotta stand up to that food police. Hi, Michelle, how are you? Thanks for coming on. So let's stand up to that food police, because those internal voices in your head, it's time to just think about foods as more neutral. Eating certain food, it doesn't make us good or bad, and eating one specific food also, it's not going to make you gain weight or lose weight, okay? So one of the first steps to take in just confronting this food police is to actually identify, it's actually about identifying what your current food beliefs are at this moment. So, to get you kind of thinking about some of these, a lot of people will say, oh, carbs are bad for me, or I'm going to gain weight if I eat dessert, or things like fat will make me fat. And these are all things that I hear, either I read when I research, or I hear from other people saying, or even gluten. They'll say gluten is bad for me. Think about some of the things, the inner dialogue that goes on in your head. And we hear these kinds of statements quite often, especially from places like, the media and celebrities and our friends and even just family members, So, even somewhere like you go to the gym. I go to the gym and I hear people, saying things too. So if you think about it, we weren't born with these eating beliefs, right? So we have over time internalized these messages, along with, many other messages just over time. And that's just because that's the diet culture that we live in. So what's a better way to go about this is to just certainly be less judgmental, on your own thoughts, and then really look at the facts, because that's what's going to help you to make peace with food. Hi, Lauren, how are you? Thank you for coming on. So something that I often ask people to do is, hi Tanya, how are you? Is to make this list of beliefs that they have about food. So think about your own, like that voice in your head that I was just talking about. Think about those voices in your head that are constantly repeating themselves, and make a list of some of these things that that you're saying to yourself. It's hard to address our inner thoughts until we actually bring awareness to it. So once we realize our thoughts that are just repeating over and over again, then we can begin to reframe those thoughts. Okay, so for example, that's going to look something like this. Like something somebody might say is, I should never eat carbs, especially like bread and pasta. Okay, well, that's an unreasonable thought, and that's like a cognitive distortion. Okay, so a question you want to ask yourself, or even a few questions you might want to ask yourself, is it really realistic to eliminate, or really is it even enjoyable to eliminate like all these carbs, or how often, or how do I feel? How do I even feel when I eat carbs? Or do I tend to crave carbs like more when I keep them out of my diet? Or think about, like, don't carbs play a role in my body's daily functions? These are all questions you can ask yourself. Hi Wendy, how are you? So your reframed thought would be, whenever I eliminated carbs in the past, I have felt tired and I don't have energy to do the activities that I want to do and that I enjoy each and every day. That's how you want to reframe your thoughts, okay? Do you see the difference there? So once you begin to reframe your thoughts, then you can reflect on your end result. So for example, like maybe you found that you're like more focused when you're like in class or you're at work, or you have more energy to hit the gym after dinner, but maybe you learn that you don't binge on foods now, and then they're no longer off limits for you. Okay, so my challenge for you today is to find some ways to challenge that inner food police, challenge that inner critic that's always going on in your head. This may be something like just sitting down and journaling about your dieting, and maybe some of those distorted views that you have going on about food in your head. You might also keep maybe like a special note section, on your phone, that you can just jot down your thoughts as you are noticing them come up. Okay, that's something really, really simple, and something that you can start today, and you could practice that throughout the week. And as you practice that each and every day, just a little bit, then all of a sudden you're going to be changing your relationship with food, very slowly. But when you do these small things that take time, all of a sudden it turns into a big change in the end. Okay, so that's how, changing our thoughts and our thinking and challenging that food police is going to happen. Okay, so let's try that today. That's my challenge for you. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Pop them in the comments. And if not, I'm going to hop off, but I hope you all have a very, very beautiful day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.